Hello and welcome to the Literary Lair. It's been nearly 3 years since I started this show, and next week we'll be hitting our 3rd anniversary episode. And because of that, I want to start a look back at this little review show of mine that I've been doing for 3 years. It's been a fun ride, and I can't wait to see what the next few years will be like. So, let's get to the show. This show started because of one dream of mine: be famous on the internet. Now, while that hasn't happened, that didn't stop me from trying. And through the not-so-humble beginnings of being a blatant ripoff of review shows that came before it, it grew out of that awkward stage. But let's not forget where we came from. My first video was on Doctor Who and the Auton Invasion, a novelization of the first story featuring the third Doctor, played by Jon Pertwee. And it was terrible. So bad that I don't want people to ever see it, which is why I revisited it, so no one would have to see it. And what followed were more terrible videos, each slightly better than the last. I started to introduce storylines which were terrible, new characters which were terrible, and other terrible things. Eventually I hit a point of time where I wanted to do something bigger. An MST3K parody which never came to light for various reasons, the least of which my ability to create a proper green screen, which led to the second era of the show. I brought the show back and slowly started to refine it, introducing scripts, a better editing software, and a new storyline that was much better than the first one. This one was still a blatant ripoff of other reviewers, in that case being the Mike Sano arc, ripping off Dr. Insano from the Spoonie Experiment, but there's really no other way to do a mad scientist anymore. But it led to the creation and implementation of my favorite characters on the show besides me: Maverick, Mirror Michael, and of course, Mike Sano. And from that, I was able to create more original storylines and better videos. This led to me getting a slightly better camera with a worse microphone, and the videos started to plateau as I was doing them weekly. So in July of 2013, I started the Mike Sano Squared storyline, where I allowed 2 Mike Sanos to exist, to have the bumbling scientific advisor and the dark mad scientist. After that was my first Halloween in the Lair, where I looked at horror-related novels. And I fought a dark entity of my own subconscious, which was destroyed. Or was it? After that, the show continued on until January of 2014, where I began to suffer from what is called burnout, which is when I wanted to stop making videos. Well, it worked, and for the rest of January, I stopped making videos. But when February started, I returned with a new outfit and my drive once again. After that, I did my first April Fool's Day video by ripping off another reviewer who was ripping off another reviewer. But only because I needed an excuse to wear the outfit. The show remained at a steady pace until the summer, when I made a short film in the universe of the Literary Lair to narratively explain my absence in January. The show went on normally until November, when I began to set up the storyline leading to next week's video. Mirror Michael is beginning to regain his humanity after a trip to an alternate timeline, and Mike Sano has a plan that he's been working on for quite a while. And then the new year began again, and I even showed you how I make this show. And now, 1 week before the big review, I came to you to tell you the history of the show, and I hope that next week you enjoy the 3rd anniversary. See you then.